Welcome to Basically a Therapist, but without the degree. I am your host, Lauren Larson, and you are here with me in episode 33. And I want to preface this episode with a couple of things. One, tomorrow is my 38th birthday. And this episode will have nothing to do with that, but I just wanted to make that announcement because I kind of want this episode to be like a reminder or a mile marker of just where I am in my life right now. So that's all there is to that point. And number two, for those watching, I'll probably be reading a lot from either my iPad or my iPhone because I am a much better writer than I am a speaker. And when I opened my iPad today to write out this episode, I just let it all pour out. And I had a lot of stuff come out and a lot of stuff come up for me. And I know that I will never remember it on my own. Like my brain just doesn't work this way. And so basically, what I'm telling you is to have fun watching me read today. And if you're listening, business as usual. So, in this episode, I wanted to dive into what divorce has taught me. Because I feel like divorce, obviously, it's scary. And if you're someone facing divorce right now and you feel hopeless or there's nothing that's going to be on the other side for you, I'm here to tell you absolutely not. Like I have changed so much since then. I am a much better, healthier human being than I ever was before my divorce. And you can also have that. And I know that God uses bad decisions and mistakes that I have made, that we've all made, for our good. And He can use them to grow and mature us in the way that He has in me. Like my faith and my maturity has grown so much. And my faith, my emotional intelligence, it's just gotten better. And I'm just here to tell you that that is available for you too. And, I do believe, if my ex and I had decided to stay together and work things out, God would have worked in me and in us, and He would have made me a better person too. But that's just not how it happened. And so I can only speak from this point of view, from where where I'm at in my life right now. And so, yeah. And I don't want you to hear that I think divorce is okay. Like in no way, shape, or form do I condone divorce. I am not pro divorce. And you will not hear or see me saying or encouraging that you should just get a divorce. I'm not someone who believes in throwing in the towel and walking away when things are hard. I'm just not that person when it comes to marriage. There are other things I do that for. And my hope is that this episode will, soothe the hurting heart, that it will soothe the lonely soul, that it'll give hope to the person that feels hopeless and has no clue if they'll ever recover, because you will. And I don't regret my decisions or direction. I think that there is hardship in any path that you take. So even this path that I'm on right now, that I am so grateful for, it's not a cakewalk. I'm not frolicking through the meadows and I'm not sliding down rainbows, and life isn't all hunky-dory for me. Like it's still hard. But you have to choose your hard, right? And so any marriage is going to be hard. That's just the nature of the game. And it takes hard work to be intentional and to choose someone who is imperfect and sometimes completely unlovable, right? Like, and sometimes we're that person. and we need that from them. But we also have to choose to do that day in and day out and still show up for them and still show them love. It's hard not to want to protect yourself from the hurt and just shut down and walk away. Especially somebody like me, where in my nature, it's natural for me to just withdraw and walk away. Not that I will throw in the towel and like throw away the relationship, but I tend to be a person that just withdraws and shuts down. I'm not saying it's healthy. It's something I'm still working on, but it's a hard choice to make to keep going back. I remember someone last year, we were talking about, how hard marriage is, the married people. And she was recently married, I think within the last couple of years. And she was like, marriage isn't hard at all. And I literally LOL'd. Like I was like, okay, let me see. Let me suss this out for a second. So then I asked her, like, how long have you actually been married? And it was like less than 2 years. And I was like, okay, come back to me in like 5, like it's just hard. It's hard. And that's okay. Like life is hard. We get better. And that's it. Okay. So, I learned a lot through divorce. It changed me for the better. It wrecked me and it humbled me. And it was one of the most difficult periods of my life. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's all in how you let hardships, whether caused by you or not, define you. If you try to learn from them, it'll make you better. If you try to run from them and avoid them, it'll make you bitter, right? And you'll probably just keep repeating the same patterns and the same cycles over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. And so if you never learn the lesson, you're going to keep taking the same problems and repeating the same problems in each relationship that you enter into, And so it's important to nip it in the bud and to learn from it and grow from it and let it make you better. And so I just kind of came up with a few points on, not a few, several points on what I've learned from my divorce, like what it taught me. And so number one, you can't change your spouse. Shocker. There were red flags that I saw in my relationship before I got married the first time. I'm not talking about my current relationship. And I thought what a lot of us think is they'll change once we get married. Wrong. No, that could not be more wrong. The issues that you face before marriage usually don't improve in marriage. And I'm not saying that they can't get better and that Jesus can't or he won't work a miracle. Like that happens all the time. Yes and amen. Declare that over your marriage. However, if you're not consulting God, if you're not including him in your marriage, then don't expect the issue to get better on its own or through your own means. It's just going to stay the same. You cannot change your spouse. Number 2, you can't control your spouse. People are going to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And they'll do it with or without your knowledge of it. And in my experience, the more that you try to control them, the less safe, obviously, they feel with you. And the more tendency they have to hide things from you and or just lie about it. And so the less that you control and allow them to be who they are, the better. And if you don't like who they are without you trying to control them, then that's probably not the person for you. But if you're already married, work it out. If you're not, You still got time. You don't have to settle. If there are red flags and non-negotiables for you, I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't. Number 3, listen to the people around you because they have an outside perspective. They're seeing things that you might not see because it's your normal. But just because something is your normal doesn't mean that it's healthy. And so listen to the people that have a good read on your relationship, that align with God, that align with the Bible, that are mature, and listen to them. You don't have to follow what they're saying, but like if I would have listened to a handful of people before I got married the first time, it probably would have saved a lot of heartache. I'm not regretting any of it. It made me who I am today. I'm just saying, listen to the people around you. Number 4, your spouse cannot fulfill you. They cannot be your end all be all. Like they just can't. That is such insane pressure to put on somebody to fulfill your every want, your every desire, your every need. It's unrealistic. It's not real life. Nobody can completely fulfill you. Have your own hobbies and your own interests and your own passions, and have your own set of friends that you hang out with and have time with them. But like your relationship shouldn't be your entire life. Yeah, it's a big chunk of your life, but it's not all of your life. Like you still have some autonomy within that relationship. You should still be your own person while respecting your relationship, your marriage, and your spouse. But like, don't be consumed by it. Don't be consumed by them. It's unhealthy. The only person that's meant to fulfill us is God. He's the only one that can fill every void in our life, in our heart, in our soul. No human being can do that. It is literally impossible. And if you're looking for somebody to fulfill you, if you're looking for marriage to fulfill you and make you happy, you ain't going to find it. Not in marriage. Marriage is so beautiful, but it is so hard. And you get hurt and you get disappointed. Like nobody's perfect. But you just got to choose somebody that you want to be imperfect with and grow with, that you want to live life with and experience life with, somebody that's willing to grow with you. Like that's what we're after here. We're not after perfection. We're not after allowing somebody to, or searching for somebody to complete us, because that's not going to happen. Like we should be two whole individuals coming together. We should be coming together out of want and not need. Those are very different approaches. Like when you feel like you need something, you get like scarcity mindset. You get all like needy and clingy. But when you come from the approach of I want you here with me, powerful. It's a much different approach. It's a much healthier approach. It allows them to be them and it allows you to be you. But you guys can live and experience life together. Number 5, who you surround yourself with is important. Be on guard with who you allow around you and your spouse. Don't allow everyone to speak into your life and in your marriage. Not everyone is healthy and mature and spiritually sound. Like you shouldn't have friends that promote thinking or activities or words that don't align with the Bible. No one should be encouraging you to seek divorce when things are hard or inconvenient. They should be pushing you to stay and forgive and go back and try again and go back and try again and love and forgive. Those are the types of people. We don't want to put ourselves around people that are going to put us in a compromising situation. Like we need to surround ourselves with people that respect our relationship, that respect our marriage. Number 6, God is there. I grew up in church, got saved when I was 6, but the way I grew up was very legalistic. It was made more about following the rules and not doing bad stuff than it was about a relationship with God. And I remember how real and close God felt to me when I was going through my separation and divorce. And I've talked about this before, but I experienced God in a brand new way when I was in the lowest of lows, when I was in the pit. And it was one of the hardest times in my life, but it was also one of the most beautiful times of my life because I got to know God. And I wouldn't take back that time for anything because of the intimacy and the growth and the depth that I felt in my relationship with God. It was beautiful. And so I want to encourage you that if you are somebody that's going through it, turn to God and let Him walk you through this. You're not alone. Like He is there for you. And the peace and the comfort that I felt during that time was insane. Like God wants to carry you and hold you. He knows that you're hurting. He empathizes with your pain. But He's also going to use it for your good if you allow Him. So that's on you. That's your choice. Number 7, you will lose relationships. I'm just not even going to lie to you, and I'm not going to try to soften it up and make it sound sweet and pretty. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose relationships. Sides will be taken, and that's just what's going to happen. So be prepared. But you're going to find your people. I feel like I say this a lot, but God will replace what you've lost with better. He will. So if there were best friends that you had together in your marriage, you might lose them. You might. But there will be better. The crowd's going to change. People are going to look at you in a bad way, and maybe you deserve it, maybe you don't. But it's just what's going to happen. Number 8, therapy is important. Please make sure that you are processing and coping and dealing with this with a professional. It's great to have friends and family who support you, but therapy is going to help in a massive way. I can't even imagine where I would be had I not gone to therapy through my separation and divorce. It helped so much. And so I would encourage you to help yourself and go find a professional therapist. Go find help. It's worth it. Because this is going to make you better for your other relationships. It's going to make you better for maybe your next romantic relationship, if that's what God has in plan for you, or in your friendships, and you're just in any kind of relationship. You're just going to learn, you're going to be better. You're going to learn more about yourself, and that's going to help you show up better in your relationships. I hope that this episode was helpful. I just kind of wrote it from the heart today and just let it rip. So, it is what it is. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me and like and share this episode. I want to help as many people as possible. That is like the core of who I am, is just helping people be better and heal and work through things. Like that's literally like what I'm all about. And so share, spread the word, let people know, and I will see you next week. Bye. Yeah. Be just that.